Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program this beautiful Monday morning. My name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure to have you join us on Dialogue in Diaspora this Monday morning. It's a kind of the weather is tempting though. Shower out there, fairly cold. Sometimes you might feel like you don't want to get out of bed. Well, come on, you got to get out of bed. Well, we're here to keep your day going, to keep your company. If you're still at home, channel 238 on Sky, or if you're at work, you can watch us through our website, www.bentelevision.com, anywhere you are in the world. If you are in Europe, anywhere in Europe, France, Germany, Netherlands, wherever you are in Europe, you can watch us via Eurobird. If you're in Nigeria, you can watch us on Star Times, and of course one of the newest Skype platform in Nigeria. It's a pleasure that we are here again this beautiful Monday morning. My name is Tunde Alabi, here on Dialogue in Diaspora. We'll bring you information around the world, especially happenings in the UK and in the home country. This Monday morning, principally, we'll be talking about Nigeria. It does seem election started, but of course we are not yet in that mood or that season. But it does seem it has started already with the recent, resignation of former Vice President His Excellency Atiku Abubakar from the ruling party APC just a couple of days ago. And people are saying, well, 2009, the race to 2019 has started, and people are saying now in a couple of days, months, we'll begin to see alignment and realignment. Or maybe the ruling party will stay or it will explode. We don't know, but we're watching what is going to happen. But the first step that we've seen now is the resignation of one of the pillars of the party, one of the financiers of the party, former Vice President His Excellency Atiku, resigning from the ruling party. Where does he go? We don't know. We're watching and we'll get to know. This morning, I've got guests in the studio. They'll be joining me. They are joining me to look at towards 2019. Towards 2019, has Nigeria learned any lesson at all? Has Nigeria learned any lesson since Nigeria got into this democratic dispensation? 2009 up till 2015, 16, now 2017. Have we learned any lesson in terms of economic development, in terms of social development, in terms of political development, in terms of the rule of law, and of course infrastructural growth? Has Nigeria learned any lesson? Have the people learned any lesson? Are we able to take the right decision as we approach 2019? Or we're still going to be under the influence of 100 naira for a vote or 1,000 naira for a vote? Where are we? What are we doing? Where are we going? Has Nigeria learned any lesson? I'm privileged to be joined this morning by all the way from Nigeria, Ogun State, a former Commissioner of Agriculture, Emmanuel Helsway, in his days as a commissioner, and will still have some influence even in this day up to now. Privileged to have Honorable Tuji Akiosi here in the studio this morning. Honorable Tuji Akiosi, thank you for joining us this beautiful Monday morning.
Good morning, Tunde.
And we're also joined by one of our own, a political analyst based here in London, who is also very versatile about happenings and also has got keen interest about political development here in Nigeria. I'm talking about Adetunji Ebo. Mr. Ebo, thank you for joining us on the program this morning. It's a pleasure. Let me start with you, Honorable Akiosi. I mean, you are active politician. You've been in the system. You had power as a commissioner for agriculture. You worked with one of the most dynamic governors in the history of Ogun State. Let me ask you, the politics of the days when you and your governor were in office and the politics of 2015, 2016, 2017, how will you assess it?
Well,
has anything changed?
First and foremost, I want to thank you. And secondly, the politics of our country is evolving. I tend to disagree with people that say we've not learned anything or that we have not moved as a country. 1999 till now is about 18 years. And if we've come into politicking, active politicking, serious politicking as a country, I think there are ups and downs, but definitely we are moving. 1999, 2003, the issue of ballot snatching and co were the act of the day or that time. We've developed that in 2015, out of the 236 wards that we have in Ogun State and the over 3,000 polling units, I do not think you'd have up to 10 places where ballots were taken. So we are moving gradually from those dark days to a time now where we know that our votes will count. So much has changed, and so much definitely still need to be changed.
But in terms of the orientation of the Nigerian people towards politics, in 2009 up till 2003 and the rest of the before 2015, it's a commonplace to buy votes among politicians. Has that changed?
Well, if you say buying votes, between us, first and foremost, you need to take poverty out of the land before saying one will not be able to collect money for his or her votes. An average Nigerian does not see what the government has done for him or her. That's why when people are campaigning, you will only be hearing, just give us money. Knowing fully well that when you campaign and you tell him, this will be what I'll do in the next 4 years. And after 4 years, you come and complain that that thing did not happen. So that person, an average Nigerian, is tired of excuses. So they know when you get there, it's either you forget them as usual. Right? The present government in Abuja promised so much. We'll give food, we'll give free education, we'll bring fuel to 45 naira, we'll do this, we'll do that. At the end of the day, nothing happened. Do you now expect the man and woman that stayed in the rain, stayed in the sun, all through the day, right? Data capturing machine didn't work, you will have to do it manually, stayed in the rain all through the day, because you promised him or her that you'll have free he or she will have free education for the child, have free food for that same child, right? Do so much. That didn't happen. So if you come in the next 2-3 years to say you want their vote, the worst they will ask you is, come and pay for it so that that thing you promised and you didn't do, right, we'll use the money you've given us to augment for that. So that's what has happened. So what we are moving at now is to say, for whatever it is, the Nigerian electorate is also getting wiser. And thank God, those that hitherto will not want to say we want to be part of the political setting. If a wise man refuses to perform a civic responsibility, definitely a stupid man will be the one that will rule over the wise man. So we are telling those that are educated, those that are literate, to also take politics and politicking serious, so that they too will have a say, their offspring will have a say, their supporters and those that they are feeding or fending for will also have a say. And by so doing, we'll have a better country and a better person that will govern and rule over us.
But let's look at the development that has taken place within our political sphere. It spoke about in 2009 when it's all about almost manual system of voting. You carry ballot boxes from one point to the other, people snatching ballot boxes. And we've gradually moved to a stage where there is data capturing, there is almost everything is becoming electronically carried out. It's a kind of advancement. Does that justify our political environment growing alongside national development? I'm not sure if that my question is clear. Looking at our political involvement from that manual, terrible days up to 2015, 2016, 17. In fact, the last election where almost everything was digitally carried out, even results. That development, has it meant anything in terms of national development as well?
Well, I think from Jega's time, things sort of improved, and under the current dispensation, if the government continues to put in the necessary investments, I think we'll have a better outcome in 2019. As to the national development side of things, I think we still have a long way to go, in the sense that, and basically, the president's absence from the country didn't particularly help matters. Hopefully now that he's sort of settled down, he can take control of things, But we are still watching the situation, And in any political system, 4 years is the term in Nigeria. 2 years is gone. And basically after 2 years, the next 2 years, what happens? People will start politicking again. So the politics is beginning. And I'll say by January, you can forget about what you call development or any strong program. The whole thing now is going to be who is going next, what is going to happen, because that will be the time for primaries. Then from
conventions, primaries.
So for the whole of 2018, now this is 2017, I think for the 2017 budget, what was the outcome of I think we had about 30-something% off. What do they call it?
Performance of the budget performance.
In 2017. So 2018, what's going to happen when everything we're now going to be doing is basically about who is going to contest, who is not going to contest, you'll be running helter-skelter all over the place. So probably we'll be looking at about 20-25% budget performance. So how can there be development at that rate? Our budget performance is extremely poor in that country. And if you allocate money to something and we are not spending it, well, how can there be development?
Honorable Akinse, the politics we play in Nigeria, should I call it politics of region, where, I'm from the north, I'm from the south, at the national level, and people, even at the state level, will look at, no, it's my constituency, that should produce that. No, your constituency has had this. Does that agenda development, where priority is given to where you come from or to what you can deliver?
Well, unfortunately, it does not bring any development into the nation. And I dare say that, unfortunately again, it is being evident, is more evident now between 2015 and 2017. Give it to the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, give it to the former president, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, right, and give it to Goodluck Jonathan. They had a program that was broadly put down and put in place for the development of this nation. I didn't hear between those three presidents where they will say, it is those that voted for me that I'll first take care of, like the incumbent president said, right? It is now that we are seeing that kind of segregation, and it's going to spell doom for our country if not quickly nipped in the bud. we are hopeful that after this current brigades and brigadiers do their thing and leave, from maybe 2023, God sparing our lives, a man that will be president will be campaigning as a Nigerian, not as a northerner or a southerner, a south-southerner, a midwesterner, or who. We'll be looking at a person that will say, okay, in 1999, President Olusegun Obasanjo became the president based on the sentiments that MKO Abiola won an election and was denied the opportunity to. That was the sentiment. And we agreed that, okay, after 8 years, it moved to President Yar'Adua. Unfortunately, his ill health, right, didn't make things go the way we planned. Coming Jonathan, who again is a southerner, and you see what has happened, and you saw what happened in 2015. Right? I'm from the PDP stock, and I'll tell you that it was not a very right or a good thing for us to say President Jonathan should vie again. That was not being done in the good sense of the comradeship that brought Baba Obasanjo in to be president. But that has happened. We have a man here now that the northerner will also, rightly or wrongly, say they have 8 years to stay. That ends in 2020. So I'm thinking that from 2023, you now have a cohesive nation where, okay, you've done 8 years, you guys have done, everybody has done whatever they want to do. Let's now have a president that will campaign as a Nigerian, not campaign as either a northerner or a southerner. Right? In fact, from 2019, you start seeing campaigns that will be more robust as to what you can give to your nation instead of where you come from, which has made the polity and our electioneering campaigns one that is tilted towards a particular section. We have about 19 states in the north, and we have a bit less in the south. So that on its own, people tend to use that as an excuse to say we want to go this way. But I'm certain that our nation will start moving faster than we think from the coming elections.
Start moving faster than we think from the coming election. But does age matter in who runs what in Nigeria?
Yes, it does. Age matters, right? And I, unfortunately, again, this dispensation that we are running in, right? President Jonathan was, or is among the youngest people.
President has ever ruled Nigeria.
No, aside military.
Okay.
Right. If you are saying youngest in military, the one and every other person ruled there. So, Nigeria has a population of over 180 million people. We have diverse problems and diverse issues. Nobody has said a young man cannot die. But working with the governor that you said we worked with, Otunba Gbenga Daniel, showed to us that as small as Ogun State is, with between 6 and 8 million people, right, the man will work around the clock. And still we didn't get everything right. How much more managing 180 million people and age is not on your side? No matter how it is, right, what you did or the kind of things that you did 10 years ago, you can't do it again now. Right? And that is the same thing that is here. The work of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria needs somebody that is like 200% sound. health-wise.
Intellectually, physically,
All,
everything.
put everything
Every
together.
area of
In every
human
sphere
existence.
of human existence, that person must be 200%. The job that we have in Nigeria is much more than the one the president will do in the United States of America, because we don't have so much working. The man that is president in the US or your own prime minister now has no issue with whether there is electricity. He has no issue with what is bad road. I've driven all through this 1 week, all in the UK. I didn't see one pothole. Come to my state in Ogun State, and you see what potholes look like. They look like well. So if somebody, and you see those on federal roads too, not only on state roads. So if somebody is now becoming the president, and you now go and bring someone, this is the man we trust because in 1920, we were part of the people that signed something about Nigeria. In 1914, we worked with Lord Lugard and things of that sort, and you bring that person here
In 2017.
in 2019 to be president, nobody will vote for the person. Aside the funds that you are talking about that moves round and round and round, right, we'll agree with ourselves now that in 2019, even the younger elements are saying, let these people go and sit down. See the man that is in charge of France. See the man in charge of Canada. Right? Look at their age.
But
see
even
how
at
agile they are.
2019, it still does not seem we will ever have a young man as a president.
Yeah, what I'm saying in essence is, it may not also be that singular person. If an old man has so many
A retinue of young-minded fellow around him.
around him, the man that is Minister for Agriculture in my country now was Minister, the same Saraki, right, who is Senate President,
Serve the father.
the father of Saraki was the one that also was there when that man served about almost 40 years ago. So if somebody has served that way, you are bringing that person now. What new thing does that person have to give to us in Nigeria? Look at the Ngiges of this world. Look at the other ministers that are there. The Fashola that is a young person, you overburden him
3 ministries.
with 3 ministries. In a country where power is our problem, where roads and infrastructure is our problem, how many will
Housing,
Fashola
our problem.
But how many will Fashola do? Right? He has said he was quoted out of context by saying, if you are a president or you are in government and in 6 months you don't do power. How much has he done now? He's over 2 years, going to 3 years. How much? How many roads have you delivered? Right? Look at the other ministers. So if you are an old individual, if you have younger elements all around you, and you are accessible to them, then you will perform wonders. Just as was said earlier, if the president, the first 6 months, we didn't have ministers. The second 12 months, Mr. President, because of ill health, was not available. That's 18 months out of 4 years. So that is what has caused this lull in what we have now. And I thank God the president is hale and hearty now. Once you become the president of the nation, once you win an election, it is not about party. It is not about your affiliation to whether APC, to SDP, to PDP, or whatever. Now he's the president of the Federal Republic. We want change. And the change they promise should start coming up now. And I think his age will not matter if we see that change or those changes.
Mr. Eba, as we approach 2019, would anything change from now in terms of performance and delivery? Of course, do not forget that the presidency has said about $40 million will be pumped into the economy. money that so far has not been poured into the economy now will start coming into the economy because for whatever reason, either political or economic reasons, whatever will determine that judgment, money will start coming into Nigeria's economy. Will this money be beneficial to the people, or it's just political fund to lure people?
I think from past experience, the next 2 years is not going to bring up any improvement. From my
But the government has promised to pump money into the economy.
Government can promise anything, but will the village man or woman see anything different? That is the thing. Somebody from my village, in the past few years, what have they seen? What is going to improve in their lives in the next 2 years? The only thing that will improve is the politicians coming around, giving them 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 naira to vote for them come 2019. Something referred to as stomach infrastructure. If you don't take their bag of rice, you don't take their 1,000 or 2,000 naira, what else are you going to get when they get there? That is the only thing we are going to see happening from January, February next year. As to what government is investing, if 7 trillion naira budget in 2017, and we have a performance of 30%, for crying out loud. And that was when they were not preparing for election. Now that campaign is going to start in 2018. What is it going to be like? I can tell you maybe half of that budget is going to go into politicians' pockets.
In preparation for
they will tell you they want
Probably.
to do constituency project. For who? How can you take my tax money? You go and put up a borehole and you say you are giving me something. But people don't understand this. They see these politicians, oh, they have given us something. What have they given you? It is your tax, it is your money that they are bringing back to come and give you one borehole or give you 2 classrooms. I had an experience about...
And they get celebrated.
Exactly. I had an experience
They
about...
call out drums and dancers.
About a month ago, we were going to do some things in my town. And the people said, no, we don't want that. That go to the primary school just down the road. Go and see what is happening. Out of about 18 classrooms, they only had 1. So what happened? All the roof is gone. The floor is so messy, and they couldn't use it. So they have now turned into shift system. Maybe primary 1 to 3 or 4, they will come in the morning. 5 and 6 will come in the afternoon. Some even go up to about 7 p.m. in the evening.
Wow.
So we had to divert that money to go and put a new roof. And we're still looking for money to do the flooring.
But
and we have a local government.
I was just about
We have a
asking you,
local
is
government.
in their
Nothing-
local government
nothing is going there.
chairman? Okay, let me put you on hold. I've got Ade on the line. Ade, good morning. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for being part of the program. Good morning. Quickly, go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Yeah, I do believe that Nigeria.
Ade, I guess you're coming from Birmingham.
Yes, Nigeria. Yeah.
Thank you.
I believe Nigeria is beginning to learn that the lesson the respect of governance in Nigeria. To be honest with you, you can see the government in power today. The kind of enormous pressure that is put on them by the citizens of Nigeria when they are not in this right. So, let our next and the kind of leaders we get by taking action. Our democracy is growing, thank Almighty God, and we are doing the right thing. Elections are becoming credible. When I say, when the Almighty PDP was there, when they can just rig election anyhow, and they'll tell you vote for. You can see what happened in Anambra State. Even when the party in power are desperate yet to capture one of the states to make it two. The president, according to with the pressure being put on the president to manipulate that election, he refused to succumb to the pressure of sacrifice, and they allowed the election to happen in that Anambra State. And you can see the appreciation of the governor that went to Abuja and thanked the governor and to the president, attacked the president. Thank you. And you can see what they did during Jonathan time, what they did in Ekiti State and Osun State, those psychopaths around Buhari tried to do it, but by removing the police of the governor of Obiano. And the president, when they whispered to the president when he was with Anambra State campaign, that look at what they have done to the governor, he quickly said to return the security of the governor. So we are progressing. So I think 2019 will be very interesting, and I believe we keep unfolding and we get quality leaders.
All right, then. All right, then. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for calling to the studio from Birmingham. Good morning. Honorable, let me go. Drawing down to Ogun State, as looking at Ogun State, one of the most vibrant states in the Southwest. It's produced, leaders across different spheres of life in Nigeria. From the days of the governor you served, Otunba Gbenga Daniel, to the present government, has Ogun State moved in the direction of the forefathers, in the direction to which it is known with the enlightenment, the business, the first in almost everything? Has the state been moving towards that direction, or is on a pause?
Well, thank you very much. I want to say that our state is moving, but not at the speed that we ought to have moved. Politically, just as you said, there are giants, juggernauts that come from that state, and where you have such diverse, learned individuals. I want to say Ogun State prides itself as a state with about 95% literacy. That is very, 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 very high. So there's no household you get to in Ogun State that you won't see a literate. You will either not see a graduate, second degree, doctoral degrees and things of that sort. So that kind of state will be very, very, very hard to manage. And you have the Obasanjos, you have the former president of the Hague, you have former military this, former military that, you have Baba Shoneko and the others. In terms of infrastructure and infrastructural development, he just talked about education, talked about a school now. Right. In terms of road development, our state had done well in Ogun Central Senatorial District. It has done -0 in Ogun West Senatorial District. It would have done like 20–30% in Ogun East Senatorial District. But it has done like, even the central that we are talking about is just Abeokuta South and a little bit of Abeokuta North. In for local government, the interlands are 0. Right? In Ewekoro, the same thing. So in terms of wanting to have facade, we have 12 bridges in the capital, we have this and that. The state would have done so much, have done well. In terms of school, 0. In terms of health, 0. And we have the same juggernauts that we've talked about, right, in that state, residing there. The pride that Ogun State used to be known for, before now you go to sleep when WAEC or NECO wants to bring in their result, right? You are certain that Ogun State will be among either first, second, or third. But we are going dwindling. In terms of sports, we used to be the best. Otunba Gbenga Daniel brought in boys that were before then either locking around the street and go, used their brains, used their talents, built stadiums in Shagam, right? Upgraded the one in Abeokuta, had a new one in Ilaro. And sports developments were coming in. Now it is no more there. So as much as we get it right and say we want to expand the roads, there in Ogun Central, which is the capital of the state, fine. But the other places, Ogun West prides itself as where we have the industrial estates.
Which major cities are in Ogun West?
Ado-Odwota, Agbara, right? So all those areas, you can't go there anymore. We have a free trade zone in Igbesa, right? Where you have almost 100 companies that thrive so well. Young people are being employed. There's no road to get there. And we've had a government in place in 2011. You will not, the old roads that you met on ground, you will not rehabilitate, you will not maintain. The streets of UK, just here, there in Hackney this morning, there was a place, right, just blocked, and they said they want to do rehabilitation. We won't rehabilitate because we say we want new roads. Once you don't rehabilitate roads that you have people moving on every day, it gets to a stage where you can't even move there. Lagos, Sango to Abeokuta road now, which is a major road, federal road, right? Go in there. Thank God we are moving out of the rainy season. There's nothing there. But you now, the difference, and that's what causes a lot of discomfort to so many people. When you are leaving Sango, immediately you are getting to Agbado, Lagos State Road. You see Lagos State government not waiting for federal. You are moving on a smooth road till you get to wherever you are going to. The same thing at the express. Once you get to Berger, you are moving smoothly into Lagos Road. Is it that the Minister for Works that is from Lagos is intentionally neglecting Ogun State, or is it that it's the governor and the government of Ogun State that is neglecting their people? So those are places that before now, if it were the PDP that was in Abuja, the state government might reconstruct or rehabilitate the road and put a billboard. We are sorry, this road belongs to the federal government. It's because they are not rehabilitating that we are doing. Now we have an APC government in Ogun State. We have an APC government in federal, and our roads are going from bad to worse. So the state, if you say it's moving, we have schools built now somewhere to say you are having model schools. There are schools everywhere. The current governor of our state attended BBHS, Baptist Boys High School, not Baptist Model or not Ogun State Model School. Why has he not done something for his alma mater? Why is the secondary school he went to in chaos? So many secondary schools in our state, so many primary schools in our states are dilapidated. Nothing is happening, all in the name of building model school. Myself and yourself, I don't have money to send my child to a 1.2 million naira primary or secondary school.
Are those the model school being
That
built?
is the model school.
1.2 million
Yes.
tuition fee?
Yes.
Is any of them open at all? I don't think.
None.
And they are government schools.
They are governments, they are supposed to be government schools. So if you have that, Nigerians are not asking for so much from our leaders. No. You have a school. Jakonde built schools then, and that was free education. We are products of free education. Why can't we do the same? Why do you need a skyscraper for a 2-3 story building for people to go to school when you do not have what it takes to sustain such? So repair the schools that we have on ground, put roofs there. It is individuals now that are doing such. The government will come to you, we want to build 26 schools. How will you take, before now schools used to be a thing that you go to maybe 2 stops away. Will I send my child, will you send your child to say, where will you even get money for the school, for the vehicle to take them to the ones that he says he's building? Why the new schools? Why not rehabilitate the ones that you have?
Okay, let me put you on hold. I've got Emmanuel. Emmanuel, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. Where are you calling from, Emmanuel?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Manuel. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from London.
From London. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Thamesmead area.
Okay. Go ahead.
From Thamesmead.
I can hear you from Thamesmead. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, in fact, I'm really happy for what is going on. And I thank you all for, I really thank you for the program. It's a nice program.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I just want to compare it to the state where I come from. I'm from Imo State. And from what is going on in Imo State is not, is very, very funny. These are the people we have elected into power. And when they come to power, they multiply everything. The local government is not, the 3 tiers of government, the third one, which is the local government, is not working at all. If you go to the local government, you see that people are suffering money day and night. There's somebody has this money sitting on him as if it is his own personal money. Pensions are not being paid. Salaries are not being paid. No healthcare facilities. No good roads. Nothing to show for. The people came massively voted for you. And today, you have the government has the audacity to raise a statue of South African president and Liberian president. All these things. What is the value of putting a statue of somebody, of Jacob Zuma, who has been criticizing his own country, who have used the public funds to build a swimming pool, which he claims to be a fire service point in his country? What are we going to learn from that point? What are we going to learn from that point? What of the one of Liberia? What are the significance? What importance are they attaching? What have they contributed to the welfare of Imo State? Now, if you put this statue and they were asking the governor, how much is the cost of this statue? He cannot even mention the price of that statue. Here in Britain, before any project is being carried out, it must be debated. We must know the price. And you went up to put a statue of somebody who has nothing to give to us. Now look at Imo State, look at the youth. Everybody in Imo State, I'm trying to say it, let everybody in Imo State, the youth has nothing to do. Everybody is now a Yahoo or whatever they are doing to make ends meet. Nobody is even thinking about how can we reform ourselves.
Emmanuel, towards as you approach,
being a graduate.
Emmanuel, as you approach 2019, has your people, as Nigeria learned anything? Have your people learned anything? Manuel, have your people in the Muslim learned anything at all? Has Nigeria learned anything
in fact,
at all?
Like one of the speakers there was saying, in fact, for me, I think, yeah, I can hear you. I don't think so, because in the next election, they will be enticed with 500 naira. They will be enticed with 1,000 naira, and the 10 people will still go and vote.
All right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution on the program. Emmanuel, thank you for calling in. Thank you for being powerful all the way from Thamesmead. In his view, we haven't learned anything. People will still be enticed. People will still be lured. Go on, you want to say something?
Yeah, you know, as I was saying earlier, and like as he said, unfortunately, we are always debating and talking about this. He talked about the local government. I was opportunity to be a local government chairman in Ado-Daughter. Right. And then we were constructing roads and asking the governor from Abeokuta to come and commission. In the last 7 years, not one road, not even maintaining roads. When you have a government, maybe because we've just started, is on policy somersaults. You'd have something done in 2003 to 2011 where you as a local government chairman and your team takes your money directly from Abuja and do developmental projects approved, just as he said, by both your councillors and supervisory councillors, and you carry out your development. Between 2011 and now, that has not happened in Ogun State. Now, the policy
Has there
get
been
out.
election? Has there been local government
Of
elections?
course, there have been local government elections.
So what
Where-
have they been doing?
No,
What
so
have
that's
been
where I'm
elected
coming
officials
to.
been doing?
Because the federal law or the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the time, maybe during Obasanjo's time, the states took the federal government to court to say local government election should be their own prerogative and under the purview of the state government. We now have state INECs, State Electoral Commission, SEC. Those are the ones that now put people there. So once we are complaining about the governor not being transparent and open, you now added the power to be the one electing the local government chairman to his own. So definitely you are saying whoever that pays the piper will dictate whichever tune that comes out of that piper. And that is what we are having in all the local government. And that is why everywhere in the federation, you see local government chairmen and people that ought not ordinarily to go to the state secretariat or to go to the state seat of the governor because they have a local government who is the first man that they need to meet, will be going to Abeokuta, as in our own case, because there is nothing happening in the local government. So since development, the drafters of our constitution, in their own wisdom, knows why we had the federal, the state, and the local government. In the country that we are in Nigeria now, the local government system is gone.
Let me put you on hold there. Emmanuel, good morning. You still saying Emmanuel from Tasme? Oh, thank you.
Emmanuel, I'm calling from Republic of Ireland.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel from Ireland. Thank you for joining us on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah. Please, I want to commend your guests here. I think they are speaking the language which Nigerians would love to hear. And I thank you for hosting this particular program because it's a very important program.
Thank you.
The lesson from the summary, of what is happening from the man on the ground there who just came from Nigeria, I will tell you my own version of the whole thing, my own contribution. You see, the problem in Nigeria cannot be solved as of now, except certain steps will be taken. There will be a shift. Because if you watch the entire country, nothing is working. We can't continue. You see all this grammar. You see the presidency they are speaking on the television. It's only grammar. Ordinary person on the street don't listen to all what they want. Is little good road. Fair. I'm not trying to say that everything will be absolute correct. But what they want is fairness. Do their trading. Sell their bonds on the street. Get money. Do their clearing. Get money. Go back safely. Go back safely. Put food on the table for their family. Have access to health. Have access to school. That is what they want. You see, all this grammar, the presidency they are speaking is not working. They are only deceiving Nigerians. I have to tell you the truth. I live in I am a true diasporan and I'm a true Nigerian. I know what is happening in that country. I always be in line with Port Harcourt, Ogun State, Makurdi, Kaduna, Maiduguri, Sokoto. You see, all these things they are doing is just politics. I'm so disappointed that the present president, if I will say summarily, is a failure.
But
maybe
Emmanuel,
because of one thing or the other, or maybe because he looks at Nigerian as a separate, or he's not looking at Nigerian as a whole. He's looking at those people that vote.
Emmanuel, oh my God, Emmanuel is gone. I wanted to ask him if he thought Nigerians have learned any lesson at all. He's gone. Let me quickly come to you. I'm sorry I put it on hold while you were.
No problem.
Let me quickly. But still on Ogun State, shift of power or power shift. How has it been in Ogun State in terms of leadership? Have the governorship level, how has it been? What are we looking at? Has it been balanced?
It has not. We have 3 senatorial districts: Ogun East, Ogun West, Ogun Central. Since Ogun State was created in 1976, it's always been between Ogun East and Ogun Central. Nobody has ever come from Ogun West.
Which cities make up Ogun West?
Ogun West is made up of Ado Dota and the Yewa. We call it Yewa Wuri.
So Yewas. The Yewas have never
The
occupied
Yewas and their Wuris.
So, but by implication, you say the Yewas have never been on the seat of power in
Never.
Ogun State.
No. And it's always been one promise or the other. When it gets to their turn, the whole program is scuttled and they just do what they want. It's like use and dump.
Is it possible for anybody to become a governor in Ogun State without the votes of the Yewas and Wuris?
No. Basically, we are the majority. But politically, what they have done is to take a big chunk of the Yewas and added them to Egba Traditional Council, put them under Abeokuta North and South local governments. So, in order to say we are now the minority, which is not the case. If you have our own,
is that in terms of local council demarcation,
yes,
or polling units demarcation for
everything as
purpose?
it is? So, I mean, if you don't say they are part of Yewa, you now put them under Egba Traditional Council, which means their kings don't sit within your traditional council. They now sit under Alake or whatever, the paramountcy. So, and there are so many towns, so many people where they have put them under the Egbas, rather than put them amongst the Yewas where they belong. That is their origin. But they know how they have been politically alienating
Does that
the Yewa
affect
Wuris.
does that affect the voting pattern and system because of that cultural segregation? Should I call it segregation? Shifting people from one base to another base.
How will we call it? Under Margaret Thatcher, we used to call it gerrymandering.
Honorable, let me come to Honorable. You want to add to that?
Well, just as he said, since 1976 up till now, it has always been after this person, it will come to you. After that person, it will come to Ogun West. But I want to say that Ogun West have come of age. 2019, thanks to the governor, the current governor of our state, Senator Olukunle Amosun, thanks to all the leaders of thought in the state, they have said Ogun West will be given that slot this time around. But you see, when you say it by mouth and you are not moving by action
towards that direction,
people get to start being afraid. As of today, we are 447 days to the next election. 447 days to the next election. Between now and the middle of April, primaries are being done or expected to have been completed. If the major parties have an Ogun West person as their candidate, then we are home and dry. So left, right, or center, as it happened in 1999, when both APP, AD, PDP, and the others had a Yoruba person as their own candidate. What we are pleading for is that the state should, for once, right, say for once as a state, we've ceded that. Let all parties that want to bring out candidates go to Ogun West and bring out their candidates. So we also say, let every man, be it our Baba Obasanjo, be it the Justice of the Hague, be it Chief Judge of the Hague, be it our current leader, Senator Olukunle Amosun, be it the former governor Otunba Gbenga Daniel, be it whoever, right? Let's say you've given this to Ogun West, leave the Ogun West people to produce whoever
they want.
Are there leading candidates for that seat?
So many. We have Gbenga Nonso Isiaka, we have Senator Adeola Lamilekan, we have the current Chief of Staff, Odebi, we have the current Commissioner for Forestry, Kola Lawal. Who else? I think we have the current speaker who is also vying. So
Are you also from that?
I'm also from the same, but I'm not in the running.
You're from Ogun West.
Yes,
He's also from Ogun West.
So any one of you is as
Any one of us could, of course.
Any one of us could, and that's why we are saying if the playing field is level, right? It can't be level. As human beings, you will have your preference, I will have mine, and every other person. But when you are a leader, Ogun West prides itself with close to about 2 million inhabitants now. In 2 million, definitely you will have one person that is your preference. But you will not use that your own one preference, right, to dislodge the whole senatorial district. And that's where we are. Right? There are leading candidates, there are leading aspirants there. Right? And definitely you will not say that out of about 6-7 people, one person should not emerge from your own end. Right? But God is the giver of positions. And he alone has the authority to
what are the thoughts of political leaders? Those you have mentioned, the former president, former Supreme Court, and what are their thoughts? How have they fared? Or are they in line with your views?
They are in line with our views that Ogun West should have that slot now. And we are hopeful that this time around, unlike before, it will not be that Yewa Lokon,
let's just hope they will keep to their words, basically, because
so
they've made the promises several times, and when it comes to it, something will happen. They will just scuttle the whole program. So we hope come 2019.
So people like you, what moves are you making to ensure they keep to their promises? That this time your signature is not denied.
We're in consultations and discussions and you name it.
All right. So it's a pleasure having you here. Honorable Tunji Akiosi, former Commissioner for Agriculture, Ogun State. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Also, Honorable Adetunji Ebo, thank you for joining us on the program. It's a pleasure having you guys on the stage. This is how far we're going to end the first segment of the program. We've been talking about towards 2019, and we've actually looked at Ogun State and a couple of things, Nigeria as a whole. We'll go on a break now, and we'll be back.